Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine. From the Mezzanine is the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans, where we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that happens week to week in the Broadway stratosphere. Hello, I am your host, Lindsay Stone, and let's get into this week's episode. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the 100th episode of From the Mezzanine. Yeah, woo, celebrate good times, come on. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I have so much in store for you guys for this week's episode. One being, we have a guest that I adore, Stefanie Renee Salyers. She is currently on tour with the Moulin Rouge, and she is an ensemble member. And if you don't follow her on Instagram or TikTok, you are missing out. She is such an amazing follow and an even better guest to have on the show. And we will get to that interview very shortly. We will do our Broadway news and our Broadway grosses before you get there. But before all of that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much to my listeners. Some of you have been here since the very first episode nearly 2 years ago. And thank you for continuing to listen. Thank you for finding me on social media and reaching out and helping me pick the stories week to week and sending me your thoughts and leaving reviews and just being amazing. You guys make me so happy, and seeing what the podcast brings to your lives just enriches my life. And I love doing this podcast every single week for my Broadway besties, for my listeners. Y'all are truly the best, and I wouldn't be able to continue doing this without your support. Your support means the world and more to me. So thank you so much for getting me to this point. I adore you guys, and I do it for y'all, and we have so much fun every single week. If you're new to From the Mezzanine, if you maybe found me on TikTok or Instagram, it's funny. I found out recently a lot of my new listeners have found me on TikTok, and that just makes me so happy, because I have made this huge push in the last couple of months to really start posting more and building my community on there. Side tangent, guys, I am a little under the weather today. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. So sorry if I sound a little bit crazy and not like my typical self. You'll know I've never missed an episode since I started this podcast. Every single week since July 4th, 2022, I have released an episode. And this week, obviously, it's our 100th. I'm so excited, and I might not be feeling 100%, way less than that, but I just wanted to bring y'all joy and chat with you guys, because doing this podcast always improves my mood, and hopefully I'll feel better by the end of it. But I'm sorry if you can hear my sickness coming through. Anyways, aside from that, what were we talking about? Oh, making a big push and, growing the podcast. And y'all's reviews, for one, are a huge part, and they're instrumental in the growth of the podcast. When you leave me a review, it instantly pushes us up in the ranks week to week. We hit number 46 in the performing arts charts this week, which is really high for me. And that's literally because of your review. So if you're listening and you haven't left me a review yet, please go and leave me a review. Somebody left me the kindest review last week, and it really touched my heart. And they said that though we have such differing opinions, that they love, the enthusiasm that I bring to Broadway. And despite our differences, they love listening to the podcast every single week because of, the insight and everything. And that made my day. And I read all of the reviews. So if you listen on Apple Podcasts and you haven't left a review yet, please leave a review. It does amazing things for the podcast. And as we've hit 100 episodes and opportunities are opening up left and right, y'all, I want to share some of these big opportunities that I have been given lately. So, for one, I'm so excited. As you'll know, I recently did press for the Cheetah Rivera Awards, but I'm going to also be doing press for the Drama Desk Awards coming up, and I'm so excited. I will be potentially meeting Aaron Tveit, Jonathan Groff, Daniel Radcliffe, all of the winners of the categories for the Drama Desk Awards, and I couldn't be more excited about that. And I've started to do more interviews, as y'all know. And whenever the people that I'm interviewing are on Broadway, I am going to go to the theaters. In most cases, not all cases, because sometimes it's more convenient and with like union rules and things, but I'm going to be doing these interviews from the mezzanine of these Broadway theaters. I actually have already recorded one of the interviews, and it is a big secret of who, what, when, and where it is. But yesterday I went to a Broadway theater and I interviewed somebody in the cast of a Broadway show. And that's all that I can say for now. It will be on an upcoming episode, but these are the kinds of things that have been opened up to from the mezzanine. And it's because of my amazing listeners for holding me up and supporting me through all of these 100 episodes. So thank you guys. Thank you to my FTM listeners. Y'all mean the world to me. And thank you for getting us to 100 episodes. Y'all are the best. Let's get into our Broadway grosses of the week. So this is for the week ending on May 26th, and our top of the ranks is, drum roll please, The Lion King, of course. Okay, this week of grosses is looking like a lot more standard. So we have number 1, Lion King, 2 is Wicked, 3 and Hamilton. 3 is Hamilton. Sorry, guys. I think this sickness is giving me a bit of brain fog, so please bear with me. But those top 3, Lion King, Wicked, Hamilton, those are our tried and true top 3. When there's not a lot of fluctuation or like unrest in the grosses, those are always what we can count on to be our top 3. Number 4 is Cabaret. 5 is Merrily We Roll Along. Cabaret just continues to impress. I need to see this show. For real. Oh my God. 6 is Hell's Kitchen. That continues to amaze me and make me just so overjoyed for this cast. 7 is MJ the Musical. 8 is The Wiz. Aladdin is 9. Harry Potter is 10. 11 is Great Gatsby. So they are just barely bumped out of that top 10. Amazing. Moulin Rouge is 11. Now this is something that we've been tracking since Boy George has left the cast. We've been, curious about where is it going to fall? And this is standard for it being there at 12. Anyways, very, very good. A lot of the new musicals such as Water for Elephants, Great Gatsby, Outsiders, they are all in the $1 million range, which we're going to see that number likely continue to grow as we get more and more into the summertime. This is one of the most opportune times for tourism to come to New York, and a lot of those people are seeing Broadway shows. I, for one, being out on the street doing my Broadway interviews, my post-show Broadway interviews on TikTok, I have certainly noticed the uptick in attendance at these Broadway shows. Primarily right now, it is school groups galore. These streets are just packed with like lines of kids, which is amazing because school just let out. And so all of these kids are doing their summer trips with their schools and they're going to see Broadway, which is awesome. But it definitely makes an impact on the grosses. I saw a video this week of the Outsiders line and it was at least 100 people deep. It was long. It ran all the way from the Jacobs Theater, which it's performing in, and it ran past the Notebooks Theater. It was a long line. So keep that in mind, guys, as you are planning your summer trips. If you're planning on rushing a show, you're going to have to get there way early than you typically would have. And I'm curious, since this is only my first year in New York, I haven't rushed during summertime before because I really only started rushing around like fall of last year. Anyways, I'm curious if this is standard or if it feels like a lot more people have figured out about rush, because that's how it feels to me. Because over in the fall, like January times, like I would get a ticket every single time I rushed. I would get there 2 hours before the box office opened up and I was guaranteed a ticket. But now it seems like it is way harder and you have to get there way earlier. So just keep that in mind as you are planning your travels, because rush is gonna be insane this summer, I have a feeling. And I just think that it's like an electric time in Broadway right now, specifically right now before the Tonys. Everybody's trying to see the shows, I guess, before they win all of the Tony Awards and then they increase their ticket sales. So yeah, that is certainly essential to know. And I feel like this is a really comfortable spot in the Broadway grosses for all of these shows. I'm pleased to see Great Gatsby doing so well, like I said last week, considering they did not get their due with the Tony Awards. But it doesn't seem to be impeding any of their grosses whatsoever. They continue to do very, very well. So with that, folks, let's head on in to our Broadway news of the week. To kick it off, we got some Broadway news that shook the foundation of the theater community. Audra McDonald is going to be in Gypsy. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys from the go. And judge me about this if you will. Like, I have since educated myself, but when this came out, I thought, what's the big deal? Oh my gosh, what? I know. Like, please do not crucify me. I'm sorry. But I was like, wait, there's something I'm not getting. So, of course, as your theater correspondent that I tried to be, I did my research and now I get it. I get why this is a big deal. Audra McDonald is following suit. Ethel Merman was the original Rose in Gypsy, followed by Bernadette Peters, followed by Patti LuPone. And so it is only right that the greats of the Broadway queen icons get to do this show in this iconic role that is known to be like one of the most well-rounded and difficult roles for any woman in an American musical. This role, specifically Rose, Mama Rose in Gypsy, is like a defining character that it almost feels like it's a rite of passage, you know, considering the icons that have already played this role. It's a rite of passage that obviously the woman who has more Tony Awards than any other performer, Audra McDonald, should be in Gypsy. So that is why it is such a big deal. And then Gypsy, the musical itself, it's written by Sondheim. It is one of the greatest American musicals of all time. There are some songs that you would most certainly recognize from it. Everything's coming up roses. Or the recently very viral song, but it's the Glee version. Someone tell me, when is it my turn? When can I get a song for myself? Anyways, I went back and I watched videos of Ethel Merman, Bernadette Peters, and Patti LuPone all singing the songs of Gypsy. Holy cow, were they amazing. And now I get it. And now I want to see this show. But in the moment, I was like, wait, I've heard of the show Gypsy, but it's not something that has like been a present big part of my life whatsoever. For me, the greatest American musical is Wicked. So Gypsy it's not something that I've learned about or really known about. So anyways, I'm really, really excited about this specifically. I understand the hype now. And this is a huge musical to be coming back to Broadway. It's been on Broadway multiple times in the past, and every time it seems that it's done pretty dang successful with all of these leading ladies in the role. So anyways, it was kind of crazy this week. Something was going on over at the Majestic Theatre. Of course, they've been doing lots of renovations since Phantom departed, and a lot of people have been raising their eyebrows and curious what is going to go into the Majestic. They changed out the marquee, and there's just been a lot of eyes on the Majestic Theatre. And we all knew that they're not just going to throw some random new musical into the Majestic. It was going to be something big because it had been occupied for 35 years by Phantom, and now they're doing all of these renovations. So this show, Gypsy, is the perfect show to be debuting in the new Majestic Theatre. It is going to be making its debut on November 21st is when the previews begin. But there was so much talk online because there's this big screen outside of the Majestic Theatre, and it started flashing these letters. And everybody was walking by this big screen, like, you know, like one of those big Times Square screens. It was in this distinct font, and it was flashing these letters. And people would pass by, say at 2 p.m., and it would be showing like an A and a Y. And then they'd walk by later, it'd be showing a P and an S. And everybody was trying to it was like a crossword puzzle. Everybody was trying to figure out what these words meant. And then once we got this announcement, it all became clear. It was Audra Gypsy. And I thought that maybe that was intentional, maybe that wasn't, but I thought that was a great way to drum up anticipation of something's coming. What is it going to be? I thought it was going to be Smash because the font of the letters looked just like Smash. So I thought, oh, they're going to announce Smash is coming to the Majestic, which I also think would have been a fantastic show to reopen the Majestic, right? But this is, this is as big as it can possibly get, especially with all of the excitement that I was seeing online. Oh my gosh, this is This is huge, y'all. So as I was learning about Gypsy, I thought, well, if I don't know about it, maybe some of you are not familiar with this story either. So I'm going to quote this article about the plot of Gypsy. So quote, Gypsy, a musical fable, is a musical with music by Jules Stein, lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, and a book by Arthur Lawrence. It is loosely based on the 1957 memoirs of striptease artist Gypsy Rose Lee and focuses on her mother, Rose, whose name has become synonymous with the ultimate show business mother. It follows the dreams and efforts of Rose to raise two daughters to perform on stage and casts an affectionate eye on the hardships of show business life, quote. So the role of Rose, the mother role, I think on the website itself, it says like, this is the mother of all female roles. Like this is the defining role for any musical theater actress. But she basically has these two daughters and she's, living vicariously through them. And she has put her life's work into making them stars. And one of her daughters decides and breaks her mother's heart and decides that she wants to go in another direction, I believe with her partner. Anyways, I haven't seen the show, so I could quite possibly be butchering this, but this is what I have learned. Anyways, the mother is super, I guess you could say self-absorbed in a way, and she's a densely layered character, but she definitely wants she wants the best for her daughters, point blank, but she also doesn't want them to forget how much she has sacrificed for them. So that's kind of when the song, Someone Tell Me When Is It My Turn, comes into play. Anyways, iconic songs in this show. And I'm really excited. I was watching an interview with Audra this week, and she was saying that she's terrified. She's terrified. And I can see why you would be. The immense pressure of doing this iconic role and knowing who has come before you. I think that would be a tremendous amount of pressure, but Audra's got it. Audra's got it. People are already like making videos and memes about the fact that like nobody stands a chance next Tony season because she's going to take it. She's going to take it all. Knock on wood. I definitely don't want to jinx that for her, but Nicole Scherzinger is going to be in Sunset Boulevard, which is, I'm not going to say a similar show, but they're definitely both like iconic Broadway shows with very layered female leads, right? And I think a lot of people were assuming Nicole Scherzinger might win her Tony for that show. And now they're like, now she's, she can kiss that dream goodbye because Audra's got it. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. The performances will speak for themselves. It's definitely too soon to be talking about next Tony season, right, guys? Anyways, let's see. So let's talk about the people who are going to be in this production itself. The only person of the cast that we know at this phase is Audra McDonald. It's a pretty small cast, like Audra, her daughters, and then like a couple other ancillary characters. But I think the roles of her daughters will be a big announcement. I have a feeling they're going to cast some big names for sure. And then it is going to be directed by George C. Wolfe, and it is going to be choreographed by Camille A. Brown, who is the choreographer for Hell's Kitchen. Anyways, I'm very eager to learn more about this show, as is everybody else. Everybody's just anticipating this with every fiber of their being. And now I'm really freaking excited. At first, I sent some text to Bren and I was like, am I the only one that doesn't really get it? And she was like, yes, you are. But anyways, now I get it. I have educated myself on the matter and I get it. This is going to be a big deal. Okay, our next news story of the week is that, guess what, guys? This is Tulsa 1967. The Outsiders is headed on tour. Round of applause, Outsiders. I'm so happy that they have announced a national tour. I truly believe that this is going to be a great show to go on tour. For one, when you go on tour, you do so well whenever you have a recognizable name and story, and this is super recognizable. It is going to sell seats. People are going to see the Outsiders. They're going to know exactly what they're getting in for, and they're going to buy those tickets. I just think that this is a super relevant and relatable show, and I think it's going to do fantastic on tour. I'm really, really happy, and I'm also really excited about the fact that they are kicking the tour off in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It doesn't get better than that. Good job, marketing team. Snaps to you. So we know that the show is going to be starting their run in Tulsa in the fall of 2025. So kind of far away. They always announce these tours so early, right? Like It's kind of crazy to me that they announce them so dang early, but they've got a lot of preparing to do. They've got a big cast and a big set to figure out how they're going to take it all on tour. So the producer of the show, Matthew Rego of the Araka Group, says in a statement, quote, "We could not imagine anywhere else to begin the next leg of the Outsider's journey than where it all began in Tulsa." He goes on to say, S.E. Hinton's novel has inspired generations, and we're thrilled for a new generation to experience the iconic story as we take the Outsiders across America. I, for one, could not be more excited about this, and I'm also just really happy about the fact that this is a great show to go on tour. Everybody's gonna love it on tour, and I would love to be able to see this on tour. Maybe whenever I can like plan a trip home and I can go and see it in Dallas, that would be awesome. I just know everybody's gonna love it. Okay, everybody, that wraps up our Broadway news of the week, but this episode is not over because I interviewed the amazing, iconic Stefanie Renee Salyers, and I am so happy to share that interview with you. It is so apropos that we were just talking about one national tour because she is currently on a national tour. So please enjoy my interview with Stefanie. Hi, Stefanie. Welcome to From the Mezzanine. I am going to do a little introduction for those of you who may not know who Stefanie Renee Salyers is, but she is such an icon. She is a triple threat actor, dancer, singer. She is currently on the Moulin Rouge National Tour in the ensemble, coming to us live from Milwaukee. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome, Stefanie. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes. No, we are so excited. My listeners are going to be so pumped. So many of us are such huge Moulin Rouge fans. How is the tour going?
Oh, it's going great. I've been out here just over a year.
Wow.
I love it. It's still just as fun as ever, and great cast, great show. Milwaukee has really great audiences.
Oh,
So
is that right?
it's been a really great, yeah, they're really they really like it, which I guess I didn't know what to expect from Milwaukee, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
Where has been one of your favorite places that y'all have toured to?
I really love New Orleans.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
pretty early on when I joined the tour. And obviously New Orleans is just amazing, and the audiences were amazing. But we had a weekend. It was our first weekend there because normally, we do 2 shows Saturday, 2 show Sunday. So we don't have weekends, right?
Right. Yeah.
And there was a Saturday where I came in the morning for the first show of the day, and it was still when there was that big COVID wave happening,
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of cast members had gotten COVID, but all of our stage managers, so many people that the show could not go on.
Oh my
There just were not
gosh.
enough
I
people.
remember this. I remember when this happened.
Yeah. And
So
so
what happened? How did y'all get around that?
so we had to cancel both shows that day.
Uh,
Um but that meant all of us who didn't have COVID had a full day, a full Saturday in New
in New
Orleans
Orleans.
where we didn't have to
Yes.
work. So I was like, I'm so sorry if you have COVID, but I'm gonna go get brunch because I haven't had brunch in years. And
Oh,
a bunch of us went and saw live music and just did the New Orleans thing, and that was the most fun, I think, because I got to really bond with a lot of cast members at that point. Yeah, so
oh,
that
that's
was my favorite
so
city.
awesome. And plus, what a better place for that to happen. So
I
sad for
know,
those that got COVID, but for you, you
I
got to go
know.
out probably on bourbon, have some fun.
Yeah,
That's
it was fun.
awesome.
It was fun.
Was
I felt bad for the people who couldn't see the show,
Of
but
course. Oh my gosh. But was the New Orleans, was that right before or after y'all went to Texas? Because I saw y'all in Dallas and I remember seeing, oh no, they've canceled some shows. What if this happens whenever they come to Dallas? But that's whenever I saw you in the
yeah.
ensemble. And Stefanie, you stood out. You are so amazing, so talented. But the entire cast, I was such a big Moulin Rouge fan. Me and my sisters and my best friend, we kept coming to New York to see it. So we were really excited whenever it came to Dallas, which is where I used to live. Now I'm in New York City. I saw it twice in one day. I had no intention of doing that. I saw it the matinee. I think it was the day before y'all left, from Dallas. And I saw the matinee, and then I was like, I have to see John Cardozo one more time. And I had to see the evening performance, and I was so floored by the touring cast.
Oh, John is so amazing. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I Oh yeah, he's amazing. I went to see him in The Notebook
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
a few weeks ago, and I hadn't seen anything of The Notebook. Like I didn't know if it was good or like I was like I'm just here to see my friend John.
Right.
But oh my God, it was so amazing, and John was amazing,
Oh, he's
and
so,
yeah,
so incredible. And it was
he's
so
great. Yeah,
funny at the stage door. So many people were like, John, I saw you in Moulin Rouge whenever y'all came to like so and so place. And everybody down the line was telling him that. I, of course, told him that too. I was like, I saw you in Dallas. You're unreal. But yeah, I'm so happy
yeah.
for him. And I was so happy to see that he's on Broadway. But I selfishly hope that he comes back to the Rouge eventually.
I'm sure he will. I think he
Yeah,
would be. I can't speak for him, but
of course.
I bet he would.
I think
Yeah.
so too. And there's something so special about the cast of The Rouge. I feel like they keep coming back. Like Ricky Rojas has come back multiple times. Aaron Tveit, of course, has come back.
Hmm.
And that I feel like doesn't happen very often with these casts. You know,
Yeah.
they move on. And The Rouge, it's
Yeah.
like people just keep coming back home. It's so beautiful. Okay, Stefanie.
Definitely.
So I'm curious, what is it like to be on a national tour at a glance?
Um, it's a lot.
Uh huh.
It's a lot of fun. You get to obviously do, I get to do what I love and do the show that I love with people that I love,
Yeah.
in all kinds of different places. It can be hard to travel every other week, be in new places, have to have a new routine. But it's kind of exciting, and it kind of like I've found it's really challenged me to not always just like stick in my bubble and what's comfortable, and to like be open to like scary experiences or like new experiences,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to, because I'm going to different cities all across the country all the time and getting to see the US
Mm-hmm.
in a very different way. So it's fun and scary and tiring and amazing all at once.
Amazing. I can see why that would be. It's always a change. You have to find that routine. And I'm sure that that can be hard at times. What is the cast
Yeah.
dynamic like on the road?
It's great. We have a really great group. There's
Oh, yeah.
it's not like some, some casts I've been in have like their own little cliques,
Sure.
and like it's like whatever, like that's just kind of how it is, but we're all intermingling all the time. Everybody's super like kind about participating in my stupid videos that I make,
Yes.
and I love getting to like, involve everybody who like wants to be involved, and it's been really fun to like do that, and people send me we should do this one or
Oh, I
like
love
stuff like that,
that.
and so it's been fun, and everybody like hangs out all together, then not just the cast either, like
Hmm.
the crew, our backstage crew, the musicians that travel with us, everybody is all kind of like family.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Oh, I love that. I've always said, like, if there was one ensemble that I would want to be best friends with, it would be the Moulin Rouge cast because y'all just look like you have the most fun on stage. And you can tell when you're watching the different relationships that y'all have and like y'all like interact with one person. And it's just like, it's like you can tell that it's real and it's not just for the stage, you know? And I
It
just
really
love
is.
that.
We get a lot of notes, and a big
Hmm.
note we get is like no talking to each other on stage, because we'll just like be having like full conversations on stage. And it's hard not to, because it's like it's my friends though.
Yeah.
I want to talk to my friends.
Of
we have a really
course.
great we have a really great dynamic. I actually was swung out a couple nights ago. So I was
Oh,
just backstage watching the show, and I was just kind of watching from afar, like the shenanigans that people do, like in the wings, and all the bits people have backstage. And I was just smiling, because I was like, it's just so funny. Like we're just like these little people like doing these funny bits, and like with playing with our friends essentially. And we're
hmm.
really lucky to like get to do this for a living.
Oh, yeah. But also, we're so lucky to be able to watch y'all. And I'm sure you have like groupies that follow y'all around and see y'all whenever they can. So when you say swung out, do you mean it's like an opportunity for you to just like somebody else takes on your role on the stage?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it depends, what's going on in the company. Sometimes we have like scheduled like rotational swing outs where
Okay.
like an ensemble member takes a show off, they're still in the building, and then a swing gets to go in for that track. In this situation, one of the swings had a friend who lived in Milwaukee and wanted to see the show.
Oh,
So, management asked if I was okay with swinging out, and I was like, yes, do it,
that's so cool.
please.
I love that.
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
really cool.
curious about if like people do that, because I do see like certain understudies, they go on when it seems like their family's in town or something. And so
Yeah. It's
that's
not
so
every
cool.
company operates a little differently, but
Sure.
in our company at least, you can request to be swung on. Yeah, it's
That's so
great.
special.
Yeah, it's really great.
Awesome.
And I'm like, I do this every night, and I don't know anyone in Milwaukee, so please
So go
do
ahead,
it.
take the
Yeah.
stage. Well, I'm curious, what are the logistics like on tour? Are y'all in a bus going from place to place? Do y'all ever fly?
We mostly fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if unless it's like really close to each other, we'll take a bus. For example, like if it was Austin to San Antonio,
Yeah,
we would take a bus because it's like a
right
1.5
there.
hour bus.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we do fly. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Austin, you're a Texas girly, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, we have that
You're
in
from Dallas, I
common.
guess.
I'm from
I know.
Waco originally.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was
Okay, got
living
it.
in Fort Worth before I moved up to New York City. So how
Nice.
was like, let's talk about your journey in becoming an actor, getting to where you are today, your training when you were younger. Like, how does your story begin with all of this?
I grew up in San Antonio, Texas,
Okay.
and my mom put me in ballet. She wanted to put me in ballet when she was pregnant with me. She was like
Oh,
shopping for ballet schools, like when she was pregnant. And
that's so
so when I was old
cute.
enough, when I was old enough, I started ballet, and I loved it. And I was doing it like hardcore, 40 hours a week, plus public school. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, my dream was I wanted to be in a ballet company as a like first generation Latina girl. My mom was really worried about me having to like struggle and suffer. And she really wanted me to have all the opportunities that she didn't have and have like a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, I was like good in school, which meant she was like, great, you can be an engineer. And I was like, I don't want to do that, please. And so it was always this kind of like, tug of war with my mom
Sure.
that I love dance. I want to be a dancer. She wants me to do something that has a more stability.
Mm-hmm.
And she also always brought me to all the musicals that came into town,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
but she was scared for me to actually pursue that for obvious reasons. It's very unsure.
Right.
So when I was in high school, we kind of like decided I started training at Ballet Austin at that point, and I wanted to dance with that company and then go to UT Austin. That was kind
Okay.
of the plan. Dance with the ballet company in Ballet Austin, and then like start the process of going to law school is what we decided I would do.
Wow. So it was when you were going to go to UT was when you decided that you were going to do law school. But were you still going to do
Yeah.
dance on the side or in?
So I was just kind of trying really hard to please
I understand.
myself and please my mom.
Okay.
So it was kind of not super well thought out. I was just kind of trying to like, okay, yes, I'll do law school. And really what I thought would happen would be I would like dance with the company. That would be like a day kind of job. And I figured I'll do online classes. I'll do summer school until I guess I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting a really bad injury, like my junior year,
Mm.
that I couldn't recover from in time to join the company, Ballet Austin. So when I started college at UT, I was doing psychology as my undergrad, kind of like my pre-law.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, well, like I'm just doing law school, I guess, like is going to be where I go. And
Right.
so I was in Austin, I was in college, and I like had kind of recovered from my injury, but I couldn't, be in the company. I was like, well, I need to like do something. I need to move, dance, perform. And I went to like auditions for a community theater there in
Mm-hmm.
Austin. They were doing Beauty and the Beast. And I like, got cast in that production.
Of course. Yeah.
And then I just kept doing more and more. And then I started working at the regional theater in Austin, Zach Theater. And this was over about 2 years where I was finishing my undergrad. And I met a lot of people at the Zach who like had been on Broadway, had come from New York,
Wow.
and were kind of like, you could like actually do this if you wanted to. Like, I think you could
Oh,
do it. And I was like,
what
maybe
if
I
I
could do it.
just?
And so it was kind of something I was thinking about, and I kind of talked with my mom about it, and she was like, I don't know. I don't think, you don't, yeah, you shouldn't. You should do law school. The last semester of my degree, I had scheduled to take the LSAT. And the night before my LSAT, I was just like sitting at my computer, like looking at, the schedule, like when to log in and blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
And I was just like, I can't. I can't do it because I'm going to take it and then I'm going to pass it. And then I'm going to have to go to law school. And then it
Oh
just
my
never ends.
gosh. Yeah.
And so I canceled it. And I went to the other room and I was like, Mom, I just canceled my LSAT. And she was like, Oh, okay. You just need more time. And I was like, No,
No,
I
mom.
don't need any more time. I think I'm going to move to New York and try the Broadway thing.
Oh
And
my
it went over so
gosh.
well. No, she was really scared for me,
Of
but
course.
ultimately she was very supportive. And I told her like,
Yeah.
look, if I fail at this, I can go back to law school whenever. But like the clock is ticking on this body of mine.
Right.
I have limited time. I can't do law school and then be 50 years old trying to do Broadway. I
Hmm.
need to do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, luckily when I moved to New York, it was really hard. I was there by myself.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anyone.
Hmm.
I kind of just learned by auditioning and like reading audition update in the months before I moved. I read every audition update, the old school like forum that there used to be,
Okay.
just like trying to figure out like how auditions worked and like what I should be prepared for.
Right. Right.
And yeah, I moved and I started booking like some regional gigs and I booked a cruise ship and then it just
Yeah.
like went on from there.
Wow. Wow. And I'm so curious about the cruise ship gig.
Yeah.
Can you tell me
Yeah.
about that? It was Greece, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it
What
was
was it
Royal
like?
Caribbean.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. I can't believe I did it. So
Uh-huh.
it was I was pretty much on at sea all of 2019.
Wow.
And my ship,
Okay.
yeah. And my ship, it was a Royal Caribbean. We did Greece and then like a couple production shows.
Uh-huh.
And our ship was in the Mediterranean. So it was
Stop.
amazing, right? Like I had never, it was funny because I had never been on a cruise ship because I've always been really deathly afraid of them.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like deathly afraid. And I had told my mom, like as a joke, like I would only go on a cruise ship if you paid me.
Right.
And then I got the job, and I was like, oh shit, I have to go on a cruise ship.
You
And
realized what
it
the
was
job meant.
yeah, and it was
Yeah.
really hard for the first few months. I had a really hard time adjusting at first
Oh.
because like I was really just really deeply afraid that it was going to be like the Titanic
Oh
and like
my
I was going to drown in my
God.
cabin. I was so afraid,
You
and I
poor
was really
thing.
it was awful. And I was really sensitive to like the ship rocking and it was a lot. And eventually I got it together.
Uh-huh.
And it was fine. I was still always like, if we were tilted like half a degree, I was like, we're sinking, we're tilting.
Did you
But
ever like get okay with it? Like, did you get over
I
your
did.
fear? Okay, good.
I
Thank
got
goodness.
less, yeah, I became less afraid, but it really took a while.
Was it ever difficult to be performing on the stage and you would have that? It's not turbulence. What is it called on a ship? Like
Um, oh
uneven
gosh.
seas or whatever.
Yeah, like it would just be rocking.
Would it
Yeah, all
ever
the
mess
time.
y'all up on stage?
Yes, all the time. All the time. Yeah. There were times where like there was something in Greece where my partner was like holding me in a lift and spinning. And they always film like the shows because they broadcast it to like people's cabins. And
Oh,
there you could
okay.
see us like coming off center because the ship was like listing. That's what it is.
Listing.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it happened all the time. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's really
But
wild to think about because I've been on a cruise one time and I remember we were walking through like the restaurant and all the like tables were so close together and you would have to like keep from like bumping into all the
bumping.
tables. So I can only imagine if you're being swung in a circle or like doing a
Yeah,
dance, like how you would just probably stumble over. That's
it was so
wild.
crazy. Yeah, it was funny, but yeah, like sometimes I think during Moulin Rouge, I'm like, how could we could not do this on a cruise ship. Like
I don't
we would
think
all
so.
die.
I don't think
Um,
so. Would you ever do it
but
again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of fun things, like the traveling was
Yeah.
great and I made a lot of really like great friends. But living on a ship is really hard. Being a guest on the ship, you see
Hmm.
it's all really beautiful and blah blah blah, but the crew live like in the slums of the ship. And, like
Right.
even a performer, had it better than other like departments. Unfortunately, like housekeeping departments and wait staff were treated way worse than
Ooh.
us. And like even I shared an adult woman, right? Like shared a cabin with another adult woman, bunk beds,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was like I could touch like all the walls like this, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and there's no window,
Yeah.
no port. It's just a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. That definitely
So I
doesn't
didn't.
sound like the best conditions.
Yeah, it was a little hard. That was
Hmm.
hard. So I couldn't do that again.
No, no.
But you never know.
The right
If I
thing
get a
could come up.
porthole, we can talk.
Yeah. No, that's so valid. I can't imagine not having any sort of window. Wait, okay,
Yeah,
I have one personal question because I am
yeah.
so curious. And I think I've seen Moulin Rouge 7 times, and every time I am in awe of the sword swallowers. I'm
Hmm.
sure you get this question a lot. One, is it real? Can you tell me?
Everything's real. Reality is, nebulous. What is reality?
What is reality? I just like, I kind of have to look away because it freaks me
It
out.
freaks you out.
But I'm also, it's like a car crash. You can't literally, like, what is going on? It's insane. Okay, you're not going to tell me if it's truly real or not. I just like, I don't.
It, it's a lot. It was really scary to learn how.
So it's real
Um, it's
to a
it's
degree.
real
Okay, okay,
to a degree.
okay.
It was scary. It took me a while to learn, a lot of practice.
Uh huh.
Um, I, what's funny though is a couple weeks ago I was in New York. My friend Andres, who used to be Baby Doll on our tour, he
Okay.
sings at this burlesque club called Duane Park. So I went to see him, and there's like these really like the best burlesque performers like in the world.
Oh
Um,
my.
and there's a lady who I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry, but she's a sword swallower,
Oh,
like,
gosh.
but she'll put like 5 swords in her mouth, like so insane, and then she'll like juggle or something with her tits
Mm-mm.
out. And I'm like, whoa. It
Whoa.
was so intense. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, at least I don't have to do that. But
At
wow,
least you
yeah.
don't have to do that. So hopefully, I'm sure most of my listeners have seen Moulin Rouge, but to kick off this crazy freaking show, Stefanie goes on stage and along with another ensemble member, and it's so beautiful. I love the beginning of the show when y'all come out and y'all are walking around all seductively. It just sets the tone so beautifully. And then before Christian comes out and raises the Moulin Rouge, they swallow the swords. And it's just
Yeah.
so iconic. I love that
I love
moment.
it.
Okay, what? Let's do some rapid questions, shall we?
Yeah.
But we can
Yeah.
we can take our time. We don't have to actually rapid fire, but I just have a list of questions that'll let my listeners get to know you better and it'll just be fun. So,
Cool.
first question, kiss, marry, kill, Christian, Santiago, Toulouse.
Oh, kiss, marry, kill.
Mhm.
I think kiss, Christian, marry, Toulouse, kill, Santiago.
What?
Sorry.
I'm so
I'm,
shocked.
I'm so sorry. I think Toulouse would be a better husband, long-term stability.
That's actually very true.
I almost could switch Santiago and Christian. I think Christian is unstable, so maybe
Oh,
it's
hot
better off.
take.
Love him, but he tried to, unalive himself on stage.
This is true. This is very true. So you're gonna kill Christian? That's crazy.
I think actually I might have to kill Christian. I'm so sorry.
I think that's super
Christian.
valid. I would have to say that I would kill Toulouse. I just don't resonate. I love him. I love him. But Santiago and Christian are like my dream men. And so
Oh my God.
I would definitely kiss Santiago and then marry Christian. I don't care that
Fair.
he's unstable. I will look past all of the red flags. It's fine.
You do you, girl.
Okay,
That's so
what is
funny.
your favorite number in the show?
Ooh. I think Roxanne.
Oh my gosh.
I think Roxanne, because it's like, for a lot of reasons, the choreography is amazing and I get to partner with a lot of people and it's so different from like the rest of the show. Like the vibe is so different. And I think I always am feeling like a lot of, like, not emotions, but because it's the end of the show, it's like the final, like.
Yeah, it's the climax for sure. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's like our last big dance number.
True.
So that's when I'm like, let's go. I'm like giving my all. And so I think it's like a very like euphoric number for me for a lot of reasons. But I love the choreo and dancing with all the men I get to dance with. And
I love that. Oh, it doesn't get better than Roxanne. Okay, next question is a two-parter. One, how many costumes do you wear? And what is your favorite?
My favorite is Can Can. I just love the Can Can dress. I just think it's so cool. And there's so much detail that like you can't even see from the audience. Or Roxanne. Roxanne I also love. Something some people have told me they didn't know is all of the heels dresses are completely different. None of them are identical at all. And they're all like have different lace patterns. The tendrils, each dress has different like tendrils with different like lace applique. They're really beautiful and you like can't even see them because it's pitch black. But
yeah, no,
those
I
are
was
also
gonna
really
say
beautiful.
I thought that y'all's like backstage romance and Roxanne outfits were the same, but they're not.
Mm-mm.
No. Wow.
Yeah. But I think I have, let's see, Can or pre-show. Some of the pieces swap around. So like pre-show and Shut Up and Raise, I just dropped the skirt. So I'll just count that as one.
Interesting.
Pre-show, Can, Royals, Diamonds, ELM, Bad Row, Roxanne. That's how many I have. 7.
Wow. 7 costumes. Do you have different wigs for every single one?
Yeah, some of them rotate too. So like my Can wig is also my Bad Row wig and my Royals wig.
Okay.
Diamonds is its own wig. Pre-show and Shut Up. Yeah. Pre-show is its own wig. And then Roxanne is its own wig. So I have 4.
It's so much. It's crazy, but it makes such an impact.
Yeah, it really does. I love the blonde one. Sometimes I look at myself in the diamonds wig and I'm like,
should I?
I should not, but I consider it.
No, that would be so cute. It's like I love. Okay, what is the wildest thing that has happened to you on tour? Any crazy
That's
stories?
happened to me? Wow. I mean,
or like fun story that stands out.
There was something that happened that was so funny a long time ago on tour when we still had most of our original Lady M's. So at the end of the show, come what may, and they do, hey sister, go sister, and there's a blackout. For whatever reason, when the blackout was supposed to happen, there was a spotlight just on Nini, who was Libby Lloyd at the time. And it stayed on for like 5 seconds before it turned off. And we were all laughing and it's pitch black. And so the lights go up and we're all supposed to bow. And when the lights came up, Andres, who was Baby Doll, was facing completely perpendicular, like to the side, looking at Libby. And he was
cute.
I died. I've never laughed so hard.
And the light just stayed on her and it's not supposed to?
No, it's supposed to all black out. And for some reason, there was a spotlight on her that stayed on, like some accident. And it was so funny.
Oh my God.
We also had a few cities ago, we had a fire drill right before Diamonds. Not a fire drill, like a fire alarm went off.
No.
Like somewhere in the building, like in the offices, someone like burnt popcorn or something. And so it set off the fire alarm. So all of the company and all of the audience had to evacuate outside in our Diamonds costumes.
Stop.
Everybody into the same parking lot. So we were all just, when we were out there for like 30 minutes, just like in our
30
costumes, like
minutes. Good
waiting for
night.
it to be resolved. And then we just had to like go back and continue the show. It was so
Did you
crazy.
start the show over since y'all were so early?
No,
No, okay.
no, because I mean, that's pretty far in. That's like like
Oh, true,
20
true.
minutes in. So
Yeah.
we just went right to Diamonds.
Wow, that's wild. It'll only happen in live theater, y'all. Doesn't get better than that. Okay, what is, getting away from Moulin Rouge now, what is your dream role?
Ooh. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think, when I started musical theater, I thought I would be doing, I didn't think I would be doing the kind of stuff I've been able to do. I really thought I was going to be doing like old, like classic musicals. And now I've kind of been opened up to a whole new world of like musicals, and there's new things coming out every day.
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge was a dream show.
Of course.
So now I'm kind of like,
what
do I do now?
Yeah.
Honestly, I watched The Outsiders a couple weeks ago, and the role that Tilly plays is so fierce.
Stop! I met her this week at the red carpet for the Chita Rivera Awards. She was so incredible. And yes,
she's
I
incredible.
can see you. I can totally see you doing that too, though.
That would be a great one.
Yeah.
As like a newer thing that's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I try not to think about dream roles too much, I guess.
Okay. I think that's a healthy thing, right?
I think it's like I've had like I try to not have like a limited mindset. I try to just like be like whatever happens, I'm like
it's meant
interested in.
Right.
Because I never thought, when I saw Moulin Rouge for the first time on Broadway, I was like, wow, I love this show. It sucks that I'll never get cast in it because I'm not good enough. And it's like that wasn't true, but
no,
that's
definitely not.
That's what I made myself believe.
Wow.
So I try to just not think about it too much.
Okay, I think that's a very healthy mindset to have, especially as a performer. That way you're not just like pining for this one vision, this one goal, and like, and feel like you're not worthy of it. It's like, no, something will come your way and you will be met for it. I think that's awesome. But / you and Outsiders, chef's kiss.
That would be awesome.
What is do you have a favorite musical?
Oh, it's so hard. There's so many. I guess I love, like, I can always go back to Wicked. Like, I can always watch Wicked. I took my boyfriend to see Wicked a while back because he hasn't seen a lot of musicals besides the ones I've been in. And he likes musicals, but not like I like musicals.
Of course.
And so as soon as the music started, I was like, and he was like, oh my God, are you okay? I think Wicked would be like, he did. Yeah.
Good.
He did.
How could you not? Yeah. Wicked is so iconic. I'm right there with you, though. Wicked will always be my number one, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie musical?
I like Hairspray.
Oh, girl. Oh, my God. We're one and the same.
I could always watch Hairspray. Yeah. And then, maybe Cats. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, wait, just kidding. We're not the same.
Sorry, Cats. I didn't like it.
Sorry, Cats. I actually didn't see it, so I can't knock it until I try it. But I don't think I will be. I should?
You should see it, like, just to know.
Okay. I will.
To know the truth.
Okay. I maybe. We'll see. Maybe if I have an open night. Okay, last question. What is the Broadway song that you just love to belt from the rooftops?
Oh, I guess nowadays it's My Days from The Notebook. It's so good. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
I know, and I keep seeing the video over and over on my feed of Joy Wood singing it every time. I watch it every time. Like, I will not scroll past. I'm watching that.
I love it. It's so good. That's
amazing.
Pops.
I love it. Okay, Stefanie, you're the best for coming on FTM. Is there anything you want to promote? Obviously, your socials. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah. My socials, you can find me Stefanie Renee Salyers, STEFANIE Renee SALYERS on Insta and TikTok, all that stuff. I make a lot of funny videos. I think they're funny, and
they are.
I love sharing my journey with everyone. I'm there.
Awesome. I will put your info in the show notes below so everybody can find you right down there. Thank you so much, Stefanie. You're the best.
Thank you.
And good luck
Thanks
on
for
the
having
tour.
me.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Have a good day.
You as well. Oh, that interview was just so much fun. She is such an icon. Truly, guys, go follow her everywhere. It's in the show notes. And I just think that y'all are going to love her as much as I do. She's so amazing. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to the 100th episode of From the Mezzanine. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave me a rate and review wherever you are listening right now, as well as share this episode with your Broadway bestie. You can become one of my Broadway besties by joining the Patreon for $5.99 a month. I do an after show chat called Meet Me at the Stage Door, which, by the way, guys, this week's Meet Me at the Stage Door, I will be joined by my fiance/editor of the podcast, and we will be talking about his behind the scenes stories about putting on the podcast. I mean, he's been with me for 100 episodes, so it's only right that y'all finally get to meet the man behind, the woman behind From the Mezzanine. So I hope y'all enjoy that. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. All of my information is in the show notes below, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.